In life, there can be many things that you form opinions on without ever actually trying them. Whether you're a little jerk-ass kid deciding not to like a certain food for whatever reason, a teenager deciding to bully someone because they looked a certain way, or a YouTuber pretending an entire franchise is more difficult than getting a degree in rocket science because it makes you look cool. In life, there are many things that form our perceptions. And in this video, we'll be taking a look at why fighting games are often perceived as difficult or inaccessible. Whether or not you agree with the notions of fighting games being inherently harder or more difficult than other games, the overall perception of the genre is that they all are difficult, although maybe not all equally so. In this video, we'll be diving into the harm some of these perceived notions can do to individual games, and how playing with or in some way influencing these perceptions can help broaden the genre's appeal. To do this, we'll be looking at both real and perceived difficulty and accessibility in our favorite fighters. But first, we'll take a little walk outside our genre and look at other games through this lens. When talking about accessibility in the world of gaming, no franchise should come to mind quicker than Nintendo's golden goose Mario. Mario is so accessible, in fact, that it almost single-handedly revived the video game industry and introduced millions of people around the globe to a completely new video game genre. Of course, talking about the multitude of factors and reasons for the explosive popularity of this gaming juggernaut is outside the scope of this video. But I would like to take some time to tackle what I consider to be one of the key reasons for Mario being considered to be so accessible. Whilst Mario games can get very difficult, their early levels can be seen as a masterclass in game design, teaching players step by step by step. But of course, most people's perceptions are formed before ever giving something a go. So how did Nintendo convince people to give their games a try? Nintendo's marketing focused on promoting both their consoles and games as toys for the beginning of their video gaming run. Early on, this instilled an air of accessibility to anything released under the Nintendo banner. This approach of selling their games and consoles as toys did become a point of scrutiny for many of their competitors, saying that Nintendo was for children and that real gamers should welcome the challenge of consoles and games released by Sega and its other competitors. Though later Nintendo commercials would focus on the challenge and difficult bosses you would fight, this was far after Nintendo and Mario had become household names. Okay, back to the present. Most modern fighting games are trying to broaden their audience by changing certain gameplay aspects and making other tweaks that arguably do take away some of the complexity of their respective franchises, but hopefully make them more appealing to a bigger audience. However, when focusing on the marketing most recent fighting games receive, an interesting pattern starts to emerge. Aside from fully cinematic trailers that are cool but don't show the real game, there are two distinct types of fighting game trailers or commercials seemingly aimed at two different audiences. The first type is usually linked to the cinematic trailer in some way and is often used as a television spot. It will show some gameplay, some cinematic stuff, and usually a varied bunch of people playing the game, having fun, and being hype. In this way, they try to sell the game to the public who might not know anything about the franchise as being a cool way to spend some time kicking the shit out of each other and having a ton of fun. And while these trailers may come off as a bit cheesy, I would say they usually are able to get to the heart of what makes both fighting games and the FGC so amazing: the people and the time we spend with them. The second type usually focuses on showing only gameplay or maybe an overview of various modes. These are usually only shown at fighting game events or dropped on YouTube for fighting game fans to find and go crazy about. With recent games trying their best to become more accessible, these trailers are meant to show the real fans that they are still challenging, deep and complex. And whoa, look at those special moves and combos, damn. And ooh, yeah, feel validated, true FGC members. We are still complex, and this shit is still difficult. Okay, alright, that last part may just be what a set of the FGC hears in their head. And I do believe that for once, here lies the problem. Not in how video game companies like Capcom, Namco, SNK and Arc System Works portray their games, but how we, the FGC, go about representing them from time to time. Let me take you to the mystical land of the King of Fighters. In comparison to this game, every other game is but child's play. Or well, that is what some of our favorite content lords would have you believe. SNK's most revered franchise KoF is no less or more accessible than any other fighting game, but even within our own community, a community of people who already play fighting games, it is seen as exceptionally hard, which is in no small part due to the excessive amount of content surrounding its hardest part, the combo trials. IdleismJ made an amazing video on this topic, so I won't be treading on his ground. Please watch his video, it should be up somewhere in the card or down below in the description. However, I do want to say that if the FGC can scare off even the FGC itself, it can surely do so to the people outside of the community. I recently went to the Brussels Challenge Major in Belgium with a friend who likes watching but doesn't play fighting games. Things got incredibly hype, and he loved that I explained the basics of some more advanced tech in each game to him so he could understand what he was watching more clearly. Whilst watching Granblue, he got excited enough to want to buy it, but immediately started doubting himself. The people we were with and myself managed to convince him, but the main doubt in his mind was whether or not he would be able to play this as well as other people and learn all of the tech, etc. Once again, even though we of course were at a tournament and we were watching high-level play, a player outside got scared enough to maybe never try it in the first place. We managed to convince him by ensuring that there is both fun to be had at every level, like you can see in many of these trailers, and that beyond there is a lot of fun in challenging yourself to get better and better. This perception of fighting gamers being some otherworldly geniuses still got to him whilst playing. He went through all of Zeda's combo trials within less than an hour, and I could hear loads of groaning when I mentioned that time. He thought this was absolutely terrible. He should have done better, cause that is what a true fighting gamer does. Which is of course a load of bogus. Nobody is innately good at fighting games, and we all have to start somewhere. Anyway, these perceptions of difficulty, of inaccessibility, of FGC members being or having to be beyond human to even be able to do what they do still stick. And with fighting game developers trying their hardest to get people to play their games, I think it's time for us, the FGC, to stop scaring people away. If you make content, it is okay to show you failing. It would be amazing if you went through how you learned and how long it took you to get where you got. The some might say pitiful level I've gotten to has taken me years of playing different fighting games on and off, and whenever I have the time, I still try to improve where I can. But regardless, I, you and everyone else can find enjoyment at every level of play. So to everybody doubting whether or not fighting games are for you, I say this. Of course they are. They are for everyone. And if you made it far enough in life to be watching this video, I have no doubt that you have already learned many skills, many times more difficult than taking your first steps into this genre. So pick a main, find a friend, and start playing. If you want to find like-minded people to play with, but don't know where to start, why not give our Discord server a go? If you like this video and want to see more like it, feel free to subscribe and take a look around my channel. Or don't, it's completely up to you. Of course, not all fighting game channels are guilty of what I have said in this video. Some amazing creators worth following are on screen right now, and the links to their channels as well as my favorite video by them is in the description below. As always, thanks for watching and take it easy.